And it's nice because we're here in the studio. It's nice because you're back in the director's chair, executive director's chair.
Yeah.
And this is such a high-level show, podcast, that the pressure is just almost unbearable, making creative decisions with you not here. And
you might have to incur the wrath of Hudson if it doesn't go well.
He cracks the whip. There's no doubt about that. This is his podcast, and he holds
my
on.
baby, and
It is your no doubt about it. But it is good to have you back. And I've got a souvenir.
Suvies.
From Zion National Park, all the way from Southwest Utah.
Correct.
By
Me too,
way
if
of,
you couldn't tell.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
By way of Las Vegas, Minneapolis, Baraboo,
Maney.
To the
Back
original
to the
father-son voiceover podcast studio.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're joining us too. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Bill DeWees, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. And this is the original father-son voiceover podcast.
What do we got going on this week?
Well, let's see. I had my largest week ever. Almost 13 years of voiceover.
Wow.
And I was just checking I won't get into details, but I was just checking some details. I think it was July of last year that I was over $10,000 for the week, $10,000 for a week. And then in October of 2020, I was over 10,000. I've had some 9,000, 8,000, 7,000, but this was bigger than that.
Ooh, so we don't want to spill the beans.
Oh, that's a teaser. No doubt about it.
Stay tuned.
And just so you know, we say this all the time. I don't give my numbers to brag or, for any other reason other than encouragement. And also to kind of lead into what we want to talk about. And we've talked about this the last 2 weeks. We're going to finish it today about being an expert. Is it okay if we just go to that right now?
Yeah, we sure can.
The reason that I bring that up is not that making money makes you an expert, but it's one of the things that I do when I think about vetting coaches. Mm-hmm. Do they share their numbers? Are they making money in voiceover? Have they made money? Are they doing it now? Do they understand the industry enough to make money right now? And are they transparent about, what kind of money they make actually doing voiceover? Because It seems like there's a lot of coaches out there, quote, experts, gurus, who, in my humble estimation, they need to be a little more transparent in what they make coaching versus what they actually make doing, honing their craft and doing their craft of voiceover. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we've been looking at this, and Demond will have this up on the screen again. If you want to just look at it again there on your screen, we have 10 being the expert, and then all the way down to, I call it a know-nothing, and I don't mean that mean. It's just you have to be honest with yourself. Humility is having a proper estimation of yourself or knowing yourself, and so that's what I've been talking about. I want to know myself. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do I need education on? What do I need coaching? What do I need to beef up on? What do I need to say? I just don't have the time or effort or skill level or smarts to be able to do that. And so I need to pass that on to somebody else, maybe hire it out or, maybe just focus on something else. And so you can't be an expert in everything. There's not an expert in every single aspect of voiceover. There just is. Some people are experts in quite a few things. I know our friend Bill DeWees is an expert in a lot of things. He calls himself a VO expert, and I would consider him a VO expert. For myself, I just wanted to go through this just as an evaluation of where I'm strong, where I'm weak, so that I can evaluate myself, you can evaluate me and what I tell you, and you can evaluate the plethora of voiceover coaches that are vying for your time, your energy, and your money. So we've talked about VO collection. I think I'm close to an expert on that. I think our team is great at collecting money. We're great at editing. Quality assurance. I think I'm pretty close as far as a business mindset. I think I have a really pretty good handle on how to be client central, have client centrism. I think I'm growing and getting better in direct email marketing and knowing the ins and outs of that. Some things that I'm not, and those are toward the end. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a tax expert. I'm just not good at that. So I hire that out, and I have a lot of help from my wife, Becky, on that too. And then VO technical equipment and VO audio engineering and processing, just not my bag. And I'm fine with it, but I'm not the greatest, and I just have to admit that. Maybe I need to get some help there, or just know my limitations. Thoughts or questions?
Oh, that makes sense to me.
So let's continue on here and kind of wrap this thing up. We won't take a ton of time here, but let's go down to, there are three there right in the middle. The first one is VO demo production. And then I also just thought as far as like social media and platforms and things like that. I've never had a problem producing my own demos. I don't have a pro demo, I wouldn't say. I think if I hired somebody like Bill DeWees or maybe a few other people that I know, they might be able to make my demo pop a little bit more. I just produce thousands and thousands of spots and, promos and things like that in 30 years of radio. And so I think I have a good handle on at least getting it to a good enough thing that people are going to hire me. So I would say I'm down as far as demo production, like doing it for you. That is, people who are listening. I don't offer my services in that. Could I do a better job than you? Maybe, but I don't know for sure. So it depends what your skill level is. As far as like social media, I'm not.
But you're all over social media, according to some people.
Yeah, some people say that, but that's not my doing.
Yeah.
If I am, and I don't do Instagram. I have a Facebook, but you guys help me a lot. I think that's a little bit of a generational thing. I'm not saying that everybody my age, doesn't know how to do social media. I just haven't placed a lot of importance on that for my business, but I know you have to be out there too. So, and then as far as platforms, I think I'm fine. John, your oldest brother, my oldest son, runs my Fiverr account, and he does a great job. And voices.com, he's helped me with that and things like that. So I would say I'm okay with those, kind of medium. As far as, let's work our way up to the next two, voiceover performance, acting. I think I do fine myself. I've never had training, official training. I've never had a coach walk me through, this is how you need to do this, or helped me with a script. I know I've done that for you. I think that goes fine. I think some coaches are able to just really get something out of you, really push the limits and kind of help you get the emotion of things and stuff. I don't know if I've done that great of job for you. Maybe the second set of ears and eyes.
You know how to do it for yourself, but it might be a little bit different doing it for somebody else, where you're looking. I mean, like with me, when I'm not giving enough energy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you especially know it for yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I
and
think,
there are some people that do that.
Yeah.
They're better at catching it with other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might be.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it might be a little bit like this if you're a sports person. Like, let's take basketball. There are some great NBA players, but they don't make the greatest coaches. They know how to do it themselves, but whether it's, hey, I don't know how to get this person from here to what my expectations are, I don't know if that's it or what it is exactly. But sometimes people that are successful in a field, whatever that is, maybe I'm successful in voiceover, but maybe I don't exactly know how to get somebody else to that level as far as the acting side of things.
Sure.
So, and then lastly, just VO health, which is, you might think, what's there to know? I think there's a fair amount that you have to think about when you think about keeping yourself healthy. Like, I walk and run every day. my wife and I take a 2.5 mile walk almost every day. I take vitamins. I eat right. I get enough sleep. I pay close attention to my nose, my mouth, my throat, Listerine. I do neti pot. So I do quite a bit. I really have learned to focus on, what's going on in my nose, ears, and throat type of stuff. And plus, I think, honestly, it's one of my strengths, I think, as far as VO health, just personally, not that I can coach that so much, but I just think I'm kind of a horse. And I think I'm a horse a little bit because I think being in radio for 30 years, I think you just learn to work when you're sick. You learn to talk a lot, keep your voice strong, different things like that. So those are the things. And again, I don't want to belabor this, but those are some things that we can think about, you can think about as you evaluate yourself as a voiceover talent and as you think about especially vetting coaches.
Sure. Yeah, so more transparency all around. And
I think
knowing
so.
yourself.
Yeah, knowing yourself and Yep.
Well, I would look at you as an expert in VO health because you do all sorts of things that I don't do. Now, I'm a young guy, so I think I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof, but you talk about all these things and it's like I get these, congestion and stuff like that. And you were not sick for 3 years?
Yeah. And then I got really sick this last, spring, January, February. But yeah, and I worked through it. I mean, I was very sick, but I worked through it. I think there was only one client that kind of said, maybe you should, wait a couple of days. But yeah, I think, but I'm not weird about it. It's not like I'm counting calories. It's not like I'm measuring out all sorts of pills and supplements. It's just that I keep an eye. I know when my throat's getting a little thick. I know when I'm getting a little congested. And when you have a full voiceover day, every single day, and people, of course, who are listening and voiceover talent, that that's something that you need to be ready to do kind of at a moment's notice. Sure. We are kind of the last in a chain of events. And so a lot of times they want it yesterday or today or the latest tomorrow. And so you have to be ready to record. And so I try to stay as healthy as possible. And I think you'll find that as you get maybe a little bit older or your schedule starts to fill up, that becomes more of a priority.
You got to lean on your voice because that's what makes you money. So if it doesn't sound the same and somebody hears your demo and they say, that doesn't sound the same, maybe we got something we didn't want or he sounds sick. Yeah. So unless it's a nasally congested spot that you're reading, then, that doesn't
something
really work out.
Yeah. So these are some things that I think we need to think about as voiceover talent and judge ourselves properly. Maybe you need to have somebody help you see where you think you might be an expert or a know-nothing or something in between to know what your strengths and weaknesses are and who are you going to listen to? Who are you going to listen to? Are they going to be people that are experts, truly experts? And, what's the criterion for that?
Sure. Good stuff. Thank you for that. Next, we will have an interview with me with some pictures, videos. John and Drew will be here. And so we're looking to have a good time.
And I think they're going to also be wearing their stuff too. I got
them shirts. I didn't want to say it, but I got them shirts for...
Why didn't you want to say that?
I don't know. And a surprise, maybe.
But, sorry about that.
I didn't want to. Whatever. They don't. That's fine. I don't care. I don't know why I thought that would be cool, but anyway, we'll have that coming up in our next segment.
Hey, how you doing? This is Todd, and that's Hudson, and we're so grateful that you are joining us for the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast. Before we get back to the podcast, I just wanted to take a moment to talk to you about another company, a company that I helped start along with Hudson and my 5 other adult sons. It's called VO Marketing Pro, or VOMP. And what VO Marketing Pro does is really, it's a direct email marketing assistant for you, a voiceover talent. So if you want to check it out, you can check out the links below, and there's lots of information about VOMP or VO Marketing Pro there. We'll get back to more of the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast right after this.
Hello and welcome back to the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast. I'm here with my dad and also the 2 couch potatoes, Drew and John. What'd you say?
I said I waved a little early there.
Oh, you waved a little too early. Okay. Is that comfortable for you or?
Nope.
No? Okay.
I don't know.
We've got some technical difficulties going on.
I think that's better.
All right. So this is our 7th episode. We didn't mention that earlier, but this is our 7th episode. So what were you going to say? You had something on your mind.
I did. I like your hat.
Oh, thank you.
I like my hat and my outfit. I like Drew's shirt.
John's got a Zion National Park, like, what do they call that kind of sweatshirt? It's not obviously a hoodie because it doesn't have a hoodie, but it's
Hoodless?
I guess it's hoodless.
I have no
It's
idea.
long sleeve. So is Drew's. Drew's is a little bit thinner version. So if you flick up there on that and you...
Now everyone knows your password.
Now everybody knows my password.
We'll have to bleep that
Well,
out
yeah.
in post.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through... Damon's going to show some pictures somewhere around here. And we're going to have some of my brothers watch some of the stuff because they haven't seen it yet. There's a couple videos. There's a couple pictures just from my trip since I'm the center of attention. I'm the center of the
This
show.
is
So
kinda your
This is kind of
podcast.
my show. Yeah.
At least you've taken it over.
I have. So if you want to take that first one up, it's Dimitri's in the shuttle. It should be the last one on there, I think. And it's just, you probably aren't having any sound, are you? But that was we were up at.
Ready to go? Oh yeah. All right. Thank you.
So that shuttle. So we spent.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we spent the night. Oh, okay. We spent the night in the shuttle. We didn't spend the night in the shuttle. We spent the night at an American Inn and Suites or whatever it is, and then we got shuttled over. We had to wake up at 4:30. Got shuttled over to the airport, and that was us getting off the shuttle into the airport at 4:45 in the morning.
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
So
right?
yeah, we were very tired.
Do you know where that is? I mean, you went to school up there, John. Do you know where
Yep.
is that in Minneapolis or is it in St. Paul?
I think it's near Bloomington, which is a
Oh.
southwestern suburb of Minneapolis. Yeah, I flew out there a few times for spring training for baseball.
Why not?
Throw that in there.
I was going to say. Yeah, John always has to bring that.
Yeah,
that he
I
played
started
college
as a
that-
freshman
That he
in high
played college
school and-
baseball.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was at 4:30. We were tired, and then the next one
After
is
getting up, after getting to bed at midnight.
at midnight. Yeah, so we were gassed, and it wasn't real great sleep in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is me at the airport. I'm underneath a sign that says Hudson, of course, since that's my name, and I'm pointing up to it. And once again, Demond will show it here. The next one we have is Dimitri and I. It's a little bit of a selfie, and it's in front of the Las Vegas sign. Do you see that, Drew? It should be one of the first couple ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Dimitri.
You've never been to Las Vegas, right?
No,
Have you? Have any of you guys been to Las
No.
Vegas? No.
No.
No, and Dimitri.
We don't have friends like Hudson.
Yeah,
does.
you don't have friends like me. Dimitri is from Ukraine originally, and he and I worked as trainers together at a wellness center. So that's how we know each other. And then the next one, which I thought would be interesting, is a video. It's us going through the mountains as we were on our drive.
I remember this one.
through
Yeah.
from Vegas to Zion National Park, and we went to a spot that was it was like mountains were going like this, and we were somehow going through it. So that was the one that I showed you. It's right next to a FedEx truck.
Yeah, I mean, we have bluffs around here. We've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've seen mountains before as a family and individual. They just go up and up and up and up and up.
Blasted
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah,
Blasted through that mountain.
yeah. It was just. It was wild. It was just like it. I don't know if that they can hear that music. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for copyright stuff. So. Anyway, that was pretty impressive. I've never really. I mean, we went on the pool table. It was called. In Colorado with our car, but it wasn't. We were just going all through stuff.
I don't think you have to worry about copyright. I don't think that's a popular song. So
Okay.
Plus, you're Your loud talking.
Yeah, my
probably
loud
drowns
talking
out the,
ruined it.
Hudson's
Yeah.
voice is very
I was
loud.
a little excited. Yeah. Okay, so then the next one.
By the way, we had a problem with his voice last night when we went on a walk. We won't talk about that here.
Yeah,
But
I don't whisper.
no.
So,
Go ahead.
and then the next one is us.
Dimitri's been there though, right? Hasn't he? Hasn't he been out there?
Yes, he was out to Zion National
Wow,
Park before.
that was awfully nice of him to react like it was his first time too.
Well, he was trying to help Hudson
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
enjoy
That
the
Well, he was,
moment.
he was
Yeah.
trying to get us there,
Yeah.
and he was letting me absorb it all.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
like he
I
opened
appreciate-
a
he was my
present
show-
before, and then that was really,
Yeah,
really good.
but that's
he was my chauffeur.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll go on to the next one, and it should be of us driving through Springdale, which is the town about 10 miles away, the last town before Zion National Park. So we were driving through. It's a fairly touristy spot, and we took a picture at it. We went and stopped and grabbed some gas, and and we took a selfie. So I don't know if you saw that there, but once again,
This is the selfie.
it's right here.
it's I'm doing this one. I'm giving the hang loose sign.
Loose.
Yeah, with Dimitri.
Oh, I see it at
Yeah.
Oscar's Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat there?
No,
Oh.
that was just right by. It was close to the
But
gas
by the way, what
station.
was Hudson's? Was that a grocery store or was
I
it
don't,
a
it's got
department
all
store?
sorts of different things.
Okay.
It was in the airport. So
Are we
it's
keeping
just
you
kind
up?
of an airport.
John's been getting up early,
Yeah, tired.
working.
Guess we're not that interesting.
Yep. Well, it's like home movies.
The next one.
Go ahead. You got us captured here.
The next one is it's of Lance, his daughter, Dimitri, and Simon, a couple of the other people that were with us camping and hiking and stuff. I'm taking a picture of them, and they're kind of looking. That was our first night there. So a little bit interesting was,
Looks like you're taking a picture of Lance taking a picture.
yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
So we were catching the
That's-
moment. Somebody was behind
that's
me
deep.
taking a picture of me, taking a picture of Lance, taking a picture of Dimitri and Simon. So it was just, it was
Wow.
kind of a joke.
It's layered.
It was, yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
Isn't there a famous picture, a painting of, is it Van Gogh or somebody that's taking a pic? He's looking at himself in a mirror and it's a selfie, a painting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look it up. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm
You're
a
more
fine art-
cultured
I'm a
with your
fine
fine
art
arts
critic,
degree
yeah.
and stuff.
anyway, back to you.
So yeah, but the cool thing about that was we woke up obviously in Minnesota and we flew out. It took us about 3 hours. We gained 2 hours with the time change, and then by about, I think we got there at about 4 o'clock, and by 4:30 we were already hiking, and that was called the Watchman Trail. That was kind of a nice warm up. I don't know, it was maybe like 600 feet in ascension, so it was fairly high up. It's kind of fun. So
There's no Mazo Bluff.
no,
No.
it was not. No, and I ran up it. So no, I didn't. But I used to run the bluff.
Yes,
so
that's right. I
Thinking
remember
that
that.
would help me dunk. And then the next one is just kind of a view of a road that comes in where all the campsites were, and the sunset was on the. Can you see that there?
Sure can.
The sunset was on kind of the mountain, the rock formation that was behind us, and we woke up and went to bed to that. The couple nights that we were there, which was just, once again, it didn't seem like it was real. It just was pretty impressive.
Yeah, like when we did our interview last week, you would show the background a little bit, and it looked like a fake
set.
painting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that one. And then the next one is a picture of our campsite. So it was real small area, but
More importantly, Lance's very nice van.
yeah, Lance has a very nice
nice
van.
van.
Yep, it's a conversion van, and he has converted it into a camping.
It's his
kinda-
home away from
it
home.
is.
He
Yep.
gets to sleep in that, and that's. If I'm going to camp, I mean, If I were going to camp, then I would want an RV. If I didn't have a hotel, then I would have an RV. If I didn't have an RV, I would have a van like that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
like
stay in a
that
tent.
van.
I
I like
wouldn't
that
stay in a
van.
tent.
Anyway, there's a small tent in front. There's also a yellow one in the back. That's where Lance's two daughters and one of his daughter's boyfriends, they stayed there together. Dimitri and I slept in the same tent, which it says it's a 4-person tent, but I'm not sure you could fit 3 people in there, maybe small children. And then Lance had his van, So it worked out real nice.
What's with this green standing
Yeah,
one?
so they use that normally for showers. That can be like a shower room, but we used it as a changing room because they didn't allow you to, which we weren't going to use it as that anyway because they had public showers there, which was really nice. You could.
So, but Lance brought that?
I think so. It was either Lance or one of his daughters. So that was nice to be able to change in that
Sorts
instead
of equipment on here.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was. Lance is a well-traveled camper.
Traveler. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of he's very good at it. So if we were missing something, he had it. So that was really nice.
It's nice to go with someone like that.
Yeah,
because I would have forgotten everything and had to buy it, and it would have been expensive. I'll bet.
The next one we have a video. It's of the upper pool, and you'll have to find it. It's not really that self-explanatory. It's us all kind of sitting around, and I ask Lance, where are we at here? And it's called the upper pool, and there's lower pool, middle pool, and upper pool. Makes a lot of sense. But that was our second day hike we did, and I can't remember what that was for ascension, but that was a fairly easy hike. The other pools aren't that great. I mean, it's all really pretty, but
Looks
the
dry.
the upper pool was. Wait, does the water? It doesn't look like there's water there. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think there's water
No,
there.
there's a pool there of water, a
very
fair
small.
amount.
Do you think it gets bigger when the snow melts? I mean, it
Probably,
gets-
and also
gets deeper
when
and stuff?
it's like flood season there. I think we missed flood season by less than a month.
I see.
So there's that. That was pretty cool. We had lunch up there, and so did a lot of people. And then the next one was a trail that I don't know. There wasn't a lot of people on it. So a lot of these trails had lots of people on them. So you saw them, people taking pictures, stuff like this. This next one was called the Hobbit Hole. And you'll see me, I'm not at the Hobbit Hole spot, but there's a place where the canyon the walls kind of go into each other. And I'm standing there kind of showing people the way, kind of goofy. But we found the Hobbit Hole. It was less than a mile hike. And we didn't think that it was the Hobbit Hole. So we kept going and going and going. And Dimitri and I went off by ourselves. There was a fork. And so we both went to the right, to the right fork. And we went a pretty far ways, maybe a quarter mile. And we ran into some tracks, some animal tracks.
Yeah.
And I stopped, and I hadn't really thought about it. And it all of a sudden kind of dawned on me that this isn't a really well-traveled trail. There could be, wolf, mountain lion, stuff like that. And so I was kind of like,
Do you have a picture of that?
I do somewhere. I can probably put that.
That
I
would
can
be
put
good
that
because
on there.
don't
It's
you
not
have
in
your
those.
foot next to it?
I do.
I mean, I think
it's fairly big.
Yeah, I mean, it's about like half as big as your foot. So
Yeah.
that's the paw.
Yeah,
of
so I
some
was a little bit scared,
animal.
a little bit. So we quickly walked back to the group and got out of there. Not like we were real afraid there, but like just being alone wasn't.
Do they let dogs in that? I mean, would there
they
be some
might.
big,
It's
real big
possible.
dogs? But
I didn't see a whole lot of footprints around where I was walking, so that also kind of made me think about it. So that was the Hobbit Hole. The next one is the West Rim. So we did the hike all the way to the base of Angel's Landing, which is one of Zion National Park's main attractions there. There's the Narrows and Angel's Landing. And we weren't able to get a permit to do Angel's Landing because it's real close quarters. They didn't want lots of traffic. So we went up kind of the opposite side that you could just hike whenever, and it's called the West Rim. So we got a real good view of Angel's Landing right out in front of us. And it was like a 1,500 ascent hike, and there was a spot where there were 21 switchbacks. So you just kept going up. So it was really...
are those natural or are they man-made
No,
switchbacks?
they
Okay.
cut them. Well, they cut them in, and some of the trails were real nice. Some of them were a little bit more wild.
So you could go up that little narrow spot there.
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't be
Lance said
doing
that in one spot it's 4 feet wide. There's a chain there to hold on to, but before last year they had allowed as many people as they wanted to go on there. So you can imagine
What if you're passing back and forth?
There's a
That's
picture
like,
of them
I just
doing it.
have
It's
no
just, yeah, it's
desire to
scary.
do that.
If I was the only one on there, I wouldn't want to be on there.
I'd be crawling, leaning. If I had to, it'd be forced to. I don't care for that. You wouldn't care for that either, would you?
No, yeah.
No, thank you.
So we have a video for that, and we'll play that there. And then the next one is kind of the valley. As we were coming down, there was a spot.
Is that one that I like
That's
the
the
best?
one that has
Yeah.
kind of the 3D.
Is that
Dimitri's right in front of me.
Name of it? It's kind of the valley, or is it the valley? Or?
Somebody named it and they walked
It's-
down and they
this
were
is
like,
kind
"This is
of
kind of a
valley."
valley." So they
Have you seen the video though? I mean, or
No,
whatever it
it's-
is.
Dimitri's in front of me and I'm walking down.
It's amazing because there's almost a 3D effect on it as you walk. That was my favorite. As you,
Oh, is
they
it this one maybe?
They walk down and there's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
walls
was the best.
on the side and it opens up
Yeah,
to that
Wow.
spacious
and it's
huge
high up.
gorge.
When we were walking up to the start of the path, you could see up to that point. And I took a video. I won't do it because it's not great. It doesn't look great. But it says we're going up there, and that was on our way back down. There was an opening, and it just right to the to the kind of valley. So anyway, the next one we have the Narrows, and it's a selfie with me, Lance, Dimitri, and Simon. If you can find that there. And that was our last day there. And we had to rent some gear, so a walking stick, some waders or bibs, and some waterproof shoes, which weren't that waterproof. The first step I took in the water, my feet were all soggy, which was kind of nice because we have a mile walk before that, and my feet were hot.
And that's like
neoprene
9
socks.
miles long.
You can
isn't it,
go.
or something like
You
that?
can go for a long time. So, and I think we probably did about 5 miles.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was just amazing, just different. You're just between real kind of close quarters and stuff like that. And then for the last one, we have me. I'm doing kind of a goofy pose, and it's me in the Narrows. So that was right before we left. Just got a picture, and that's about all I have for pictures and story time. The next morning, we got up and we were out of the campsite by 5 o'clock. What is it, Mountain Time? Because it's Pacific Mountain, and then so we gained an hour back, and then we got to the Las Vegas airport, and then flew from there to Minnesota. We were there by, I think, 5 o'clock because we lost 2 hours, and then we drove 3 hours back to Baraboo, and then got there at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I was home in the same day. I woke up in Zion National Park. It's back in Little Maizomanie by 10:30 p.m.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Would you ever go again, or you maybe go as a family? You'd enjoy doing that. Where would we stay though? The question, like, do they have hotels?
They do
in that little place. Are they probably really expensive?
Probably
aren't they?
expensive. Yep. But I don't think
Maybe a day trip.
I don't
we'd
think
take,
people
huh?
would be that comfortable with hiking some of those. Not that they were real sketchy, but they're not. Yeah, it's not. It wouldn't be a lot of fun for someone who's not
into
heights.
hiking, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would probably want to go back and try Angel's Landing, but that's about it. So, yeah, anything from you guys? All right. Well,
I don't think so.
that's my trip. So next segment we'll have our numbers. John will have the VOMP numbers. I'll have mine, and Dad will have his from his huge week.
biggest week ever.
Biggest week ever. All right.
Hi, I'm Chris Butera, and I'll be featured as a guest on the original Father and Son Voiceover podcast. Come check out my interview on Sunday, May 22nd. I'll see you there.
All right, and we are back with the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast, and we've got our numbers, Dad's, mine, and John's for VOMP. So, John, what you do is start us off, since you and Drew have to be somewhere shortly. So,
Sure. So this week we had 38 warm replies, 18 auditions.
Wow.
Waiting on a lot of those still, to come back. Not sure who won those or if we have any answers on those just yet.
Some of those I remember though were specific, like a client said, we would like you to audition. It wasn't some of them were general, like 3 or 4 people, or maybe they're adding people that we don't even know about. But I know there were a couple at least that somebody got, they were bored, just samples. It was theirs to lose.
Yeah. And there were some that came back. It's the roster, and they came back. They've used us a few times. And so, or at least inquired about or had people do auditions. So that's encouraging to hear and see that we're getting some repeat customers, or just at least repeat people checking out the roster.
It's a good sign.
So we're waiting to hear back on those. 4 jobs. Joe and I were going back and forth with a couple people with the VOMP update that we just couldn't confirm yet that they got the job. Or they got the job, but there's some details to work out, so we didn't want to jump the gun and present those just yet. So hopefully either this week or in the next couple weeks, we'll have a couple answers for people getting jobs that they reported that they're looking to get in the works this week. So those people were Kim Wilson, Jennifer Keister, Noel Romano, and Jack Hicks were 4 jobs.
I had one too.
And at least one. Yeah, I think that we put down. So but I didn't include that in our numbers because I figured that you'd report those in yours. So,
I didn't give you guys my numbers other than the audition that I had.
Okay.
I didn't give you guys my warm replies, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I didn't get any jobs. So, but
Tough to give us your numbers then.
yeah, it is tough to give numbers when you have 0. So.
You mean from last week, or
No, I didn't
have
get
numbers from this week,
I
right?
do. I just didn't get any jobs this week.
Anything else going on with VOMP that we need to highlight? That I know we have something that we're working on diligently, and I don't want to spill the beans at all because that's up to you guys to release things and such. But so don't comment on it if you don't want to. But
I guess we'll just hold off.
Yeah,
for
maybe
now.
next week or something.
Yep. Yeah, I maybe reported this a few times. I can't always remember, but I did report in the Friday VOMP update just that, again, we're seeing good progress with people seeing success with their direct email marketing, especially those that have stayed with us for over 6 months. It's probably even more than that time, but it's even happening with those. I shouldn't say even, but just good to see that some of the people that maybe are in the lower, they just decided to start with us at a certain amount. Maybe it's not near as much maybe as some of the people in the total care right now.
Right.
But they're seeing success, and we count that when it comes to obviously warm replies, auditions, and jobs, and so we're getting some auditions and things like that from those people. At least that. We're getting reports on. So that's encouraging for us. So,
yeah.
Direct email marketing works on whatever level you do it. However many emails you send out, you're still going to get some sort of return.
Yep, that's exactly right. How about your numbers?
I think do you guys have to go?
Yeah, I guess we'll head out.
We'll let you guys go so you don't have to.
All right.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And maybe next week we have 2 microphones. That's another
We're just
huge
adding,
thing.
just one after another. So you guys won't have to share anymore.
It's a huge development.
By the way, just before you leave, I had in our pilot, so not in the first episode, but in the actual pilot, I threw out the idea of a penalty box for people that would be interrupting us with sounds. And throughout this whole podcast, Fred, our next door neighbor, has been mowing his lawn.
Deshaun came in with your mower after mowing their lawn.
So we've been
lenient.
we had
We've been very
dueling
lenient.
mowers, and our other neighbor over here, I'm sure, will be mowing and there's
Deshaun with the four-wheeler.
So
All right, that's 2 times. He's definitely going to have to be on next
penalty
podcast. He's got to be on. We can't be that lenient.
we at least show a picture of him.
There you go.
We at least show a picture of
At
him.
least show him.
I'm not sure Fred, aka Tylen, would be.
He would not come up.
You'd have to wrestle him up
No.
here.
He's got to. We've got to get him on here
Yeah.
because it's not whether or not you want to. It's if you've disturbed the podcast.
Yeah, that's the key. Well, we'll talk to him. Maybe he'll come up. Maybe he'll. Nah, he probably won't.
Probably not.
thanks you guys
Yeah,
for
thanks.
coming up and being the couch potatoes.
Yep.
Couch taters.
We'll see you back next week. Have a
Yeah.
good time tonight, and
See you later, dude.
see you around.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya. Thank
Keep
you,
going
guys.
hard on VOMP.
Yeah.
So you're going to share your numbers?
Yeah,
then?
I'll share my numbers right now. Thanks. Oh, I'll put this away. All right. So this week was the last week that I worked with the PowerPoints on Upwork. I'm all done with them, barring any revisions or anything like that. But that was my last week. I did 13 of them. So that was $195. And then I got that job. I talked about it, I think, 2 weeks ago.
I remember
I was
that.
going to get from a client that I've worked with
Are they in
multiple times.
England?
They're from the UK, yeah. And I ended up getting it. So it was 150 British pounds, right? Great, whatever they.
150, yep.
Yep,
Great
GBP.
British pounds, yep.
And so that's, depending on the day,
Uh-huh.
whenever they send it to me, it'll be whatever because it goes up and down. The currency does, it changes. So I don't know exactly what that'll be. At the time that I checked, it was $185 roughly.
Yeah.
And then I got 6 warm replies this week. And then I got 1 audition from a guy that that just got a hold of me this week. So he said, I have something for you already. Not like I had won it, but that I had a chance to win it. And
Is that the
then-
guy you were going back and
No,
forth with?
that was actually
Okay.
another guy that I
Okay.
went back and forth with who also gave me a reply. I sent him my rate sheet and he said that looks good. We talked about, equipment, stuff like that, kind of just all things that you need to figure out with a client. And he said that he'd put me on their short list, which
Nice.
was really nice of
Nice.
him.
Nice.
So that was that. And I didn't even total up my stuff. So why don't what I do here is quickly do that. Sorry about that.
You do that, and I'm going to shut this door.
Okay,
because our
thank
couch
you.
Potatoes
Didn't
left the door open.
Yeah, they'll have to be on again.
All right, you're doing math.
I am. I'm letting my phone do my math for me because So I made $463.78
Ooh,
this week.
Is that your biggest?
Probably not.
Okay,
Probably
close, though.
last year when I was doing. In July I was doing really well with just lots of jobs, not like real high paying, but like lots of jobs in a row, which was nice. And then I had some other jobs with some clients that I was doing. So that's probably not. There was 1 month or 1 week that I made $1,500 just because I had one job that was that not one job, but one client that used me with multiple jobs that ended up being $1,500. So that's a little bit hard to beat.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So those are my numbers.
Good for you. 400 what was it? $463,
Sorry.
I think you said.
$463.78.
You bet. Keep the set. Even get the cents in there too.
Hey,
Okay, so how much time do I have here? Honestly, do I have 5 minutes?
yeah,
or?
go ahead.
Okay, so I had 1 new client, 2 warm responses, and it's interesting because my assistant Andy is going even more global. We're doing the Middle East and such, and I had one from Kuwait. People
Kuwait.
wanted my prices. I had another one from Germany. They put me on their list, and so glad for that. And then my new client was from Ireland. Northern Ireland. And I did a Source Connect with some Irish guys on Monday. This was my biggest week ever. I said in the introduction, the 2 other weeks one was in July of 2021 last year, and that was 10,480. And in October of 2020, I looked this up, and I had $10,280. Those were my highest. I've had 9 and 8 and 7 and a few of those, multiple ones, but this is my 3rd week over 10,000, and it was a fair amount over that. I told you last week about winning that audition a few weeks ago, and that's my biggest payout of my career, over $10,000 for 4 sessions, 4 sessions with 4 30-second commercials that are going to be played worldwide, if you will, on the internet and then some other places in the United States.
Nice.
Now, I get auditions from these guys fairly regularly, but I don't always decide to do it. They're usually fairly well-paying jobs, but I don't always decide. They're always Source Connect. They're always live directed. This studio always uses Source Connect. But I just decided that I was going to do this one. So it was just a little bit happenstance. And like I said, they paid me over 10 grand for 4 commercials. That's $2,555 per session. Each session, typically when I get on a Source Connect, if I do a 30-second commercial, sometimes it takes 15 minutes. Well, most of them took almost 45 minutes. So they worked me.
So you earned your stripes.
Yeah, I mean, $2,555 for 45 minutes of work, I'll do that all the time, even if people really work me. But I just want to talk with you and with the folks out here just a little bit about the sessions. The sessions followed this pattern. There were 4 to 6 people listening. There was a director who had been the copywriter. There were a couple of other producers. And then there were people they just had as part of their studio that they wanted listening in. Kind of people that are going to be doing this in the future. And so it wasn't really a private session. There were 4 to 6 people every time. What they did was they'd have me do 2 full reads. This happened every single time. And by the way, I have one more session on Monday with them to close things out. 2 full reads for timing. And then the director took me section by section, basically each sentence. And typically he would say, okay, I like the direction of that's going. So, and then he would say, give me 3 more and emphasize different words. And lots and lots and lots, and I'm not overemphasizing this, lots and lots of emphasizing. Now we're going to emphasize this word. And sometimes, in all honesty, there were emphasis, when I was marking up my script on the computer with highlighting and different things like that to try to emphasize and give me cues. But every word sometimes in a sentence was supposed to be said a certain way. So he was very, quote, picky, which is fine when you're paying somebody that much. But here's the thing. I've gone on record saying that oftentimes the people that pay the most seem to understand what they want. And so those are the shortest. I've also found in a few times that they feel like they need to get exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he didn't know what he wanted to, but he just wanted me to go over and over and over again. And honestly, we got hung up on the word to, T-O. Because when you're doing conversationally, you say, I'm going to the store, to the store. And he wanted me to split the difference between ta and to. And so I always say there were a lot of those in there as well. Yeah, it was tough. And so we,
I don't even know what that would be.
It wasn't the easiest. And he apologized for being that picky. He's a voiceover guy too, kind of. And so he was fairly, generous. Well, I'm not trying to put him down at all. He had an idea of what he wanted, and then he tried to get it out of me. And so I thought, well, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking, I'm very, very, very glad I'm not a newbie, because that would have been a challenge. That was not for the faint of heart, that particular one. And that's not to scare anybody off. A lot of times people like directed sessions. You and I have talked about that. And you just have to do them. You just have to get better at doing them. And you don't get better at doing something like that until you do it. And that's where I think maybe a little bit my radio career helped, because you flip the switch, you're on, you're live, and you've got to perform. That and timing. I have a timing mechanism in my brain that causes me to know how many words I can fit into 30 seconds. And that's very helpful as well. So those were the type of things. And then the other thing I was thinking was, hey, they're paying you over $10,000.
Sure.
Bend over backwards to make them happy. So I thought overall, it was a great session. And again, my highest payout. Now, these numbers, and I'm closing with this, these numbers don't include the last session. Okay. So next week I'll include that with $2,555 from this job. So here's my biggest week ever. Platforms way down. Fiverr's been very slow. $1,270 this week for my platforms. Direct email marketing, $12,753.40 for my grand total, $14,023.40. $14,023.40. Again, we don't give these numbers to brag. That's not it. The numbers are kind of surreal, and it's not like whatever. It's more to encourage you. Those are my direct email marketing numbers. I know those are wild, but I've been doing it for 12 years. It's a hang in there.
Well, and it's taking
Keep doing it.
It's taking you that long to get I mean, I know it's 13 years, but you've never had one of that size.
Yeah.
So it's some people, it could take them less than that time. You know what I mean?
There are people that do that. Yeah.
But
right.
you've stayed in it, and obviously you've had success. So you're going to continue to stay in it. But that paid off. Would you have ever guessed back when you were where I'm at? I can't ever imagine making even $1,000 a day right now. It's just
No.
to me, it's just a little bit wild. Right. So for you, I'm sure you never thought.
Right.
No way.
Because I have cards just like this. This is where I keep my weekly and monthly cards on. And I have a box full of them. And you can go back to 2012 and you can see, that week I made $300. The next week I made $450. The next week I made $250. And the whole month was $2,500. Where now, I'm averaging more like $6,000 to $7,000 a week. So again, it's not to brag, but it's more to just emphasize direct email marketing can help you if you stay in it and if you get numbers out there and you keep getting in front of people. And then all of a sudden you book a job like this, or like a couple of weeks ago, I got my first 12 years. I got my first national television commercial.
Nice.
So it just takes time. At least it has for me.
I'm having to continue to figure that out and just keep on keeping
plug
on.
away.
Yeah.
Yep. You just got to plug away and plod, and good things will happen. Trust me, they will.
Great. Well, that wraps up our episode 7 of the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast. Once again, if you are interested at all in any type of merchandise that is VO related, go on over to vomerch.com.
Our good friend Mike Hathcote. Yep, one of our sponsors.
Yep.
So you sponsor him back by buying some VO merch.
So thank you for taking the time to listen to me drone on about my trip and hear about our numbers and joining us again. So
Are you
until
going to wear
next
your
time,
hat next week?
I probably won't.
Okay.
I'll maybe wear something else. It's a little bit
it's over the top.
ridiculous. Yeah. And that's kind of why I got it.
I might wear mine because I like it.
Please do.
I like it a lot. Thanks for getting it for me.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.